Thank you very much, Tryphosa, for your time this afternoon. In a column you wrote recently, you said that you believe that there's a responsibility on all of us to lead by example, and that all of us somehow play a role in curbing or reducing GBV, especially within the context of COVID-19. Just elaborate for us on what you meant.
Thank you very much. Just to clarify, I'm from the International Women's Forum of South Africa. The key is that we have raised this issue since when the president started with the lockdown on the 27th of March. That basically what we are going to see is that we are going to see women and children and girls in particular who are mainly in overcrowded areas who are going to be now being abused more because of the current economic and socio-economic issue. So GBV is a big issue in the country and is a big issue in the world. And as societies, we have families, we have the communities, we all see this thing happening. But most of the time we are silent. We say nothing about it. And if we say nothing about it, we are perpetrating it because the perpetrators will continue and abuse these women and children. And these days now, even boys now are being raped in this instance. So it's a sad situation that we are dealing with, a national disaster. And then at the same time, where we are supposed to be safe in our own families, in our own homes, the vulnerables, women and children, are the ones now who are actually being abused. Because when you look at the overcrowding situation in South Africa, you also realize that sometimes you find that those husbands or those partners, they go out for drinking, children go out to play, and then they only meet at night, and then life continues. But now they are forced to be in the same house, all of them at the same time. And with the stresses, with the socio-economic issues, it becomes more and more, and the frustrations are being taken out on children and also on women.
Tryphosa, we know that the police minister is very aware of the increase in GBV cases during the COVID-19 lockdown. We have seen that the president has appointed an interim steering committee on gender-based violence and that they are consulting to try and formulate protocols to deal with the situation within the context of COVID-19. In your capacity as a speaker from the International Women's Forum, have you been consulted with to try and develop those protocols?
We have not yet been consulted with for now, but we are also part of the being put into the panel from the president's side in terms of dealing with the GBV. I myself I'm supposed to be on that particular committee, but we've been working with them in terms of trying to deal with this pandemic. Unfortunately, when we were formalizing the processes, then we had to go into the lockdown sort of process.
So what challenges do you face in terms of coordinating the response? You said in the column that you wrote that there needs to be an interprovincial coordinated response. Obviously, in terms of trying to coordinate that response despite lockdown conditions, that becomes difficult. What is the next step?
I think it requires a provincial government to be dealt with it provincially, because these things are happening in communities, and some of them, they don't get reported. If the media doesn't catch it, it doesn't get reported. So what I mean is that you've got provincial government, you have the premiers, you've got the mayors. This has to be prioritized because the president has prioritized it from a national point of view, but implementation can only happen in provincial. But also we need to bring in the communities. We need to make sure that in each and every municipality, in each and every community, at least there must be some committee that deals with GBV that can be consulted, so that when these things get reported, rather than being reported on the line, they can also be reported into those communities. Then there can be proactive action that is happening in the communities.
Thank you very much for your time. Tryphosa Ramano speaking to us there in her capacity as a member of the International Women's Forum.